Welcome back, guys. Another episode of Culinary Cheat Codes. Today I am making my own chili powder. This particular variety of chili is called a cowhorn pepper. So I have a food dehydrator, and I'll show you that a little bit later. But tray size on that food dehydrator. Like that. So I've got 3 stackable levels, and what I'm going to do is split these and then put them on the food dehydrator, and they should be on there for about a day. And then you can put them into a grinder, like you just buy a cheap coffee grinder. And a cheap coffee grinder costs you right around, I think that one cost me like $15.99 at Target. So they were relatively inexpensive. You can get a food dehydrator for nowadays. I mean, you go online, you can probably find one for about 20 bucks as well. But if you want to start making your own seasonings and stuff, like I grow basil and oregano and thyme and rosemary and stuff in my garden, and I'll actually dry them on my dehydrator and put them through my little coffee grinder. I call it a herb grinder now. But essentially, all you're going to want to do, take the cap off, and you leave the seeds in. That's not a big deal. Now these peppers are a little spicier than, say, a jalapeno. So I start a little bit past the tip, and I go in the middle. So I come down, and then you can just turn around and put your knife in the wedge and finish it off, right? So then you've got little pepper halves. So that's essentially all you're going to do. I take the little caps, and these go into my compost pile. I still call it a compost pile, even though I've got a bin for it now. I'm going to start a gardening channel, and I'll show you what you're going to want to do with that. No, sorry, that's the other way you can do it if you just want to do one long stroke. But the compost bin, I'll show you how to do that. I mean, if you got a drill. I also went to Target, amazingly enough, and it wasn't a Rubbermaid container. I think it was a Sterilite container. But I think it cost me all of like $7 and some change. We'll just say $8 after tax. But essentially, just drill holes in it. It's something that you do have to manage yourself, which means like some of the compost bins that you get are like a barrel or whatever, and you can just roll them to flip the compost in it. But this one, you actually have to go out there. I go out there with a shovel every couple weeks or so and just turn it by hand. But make sure it stays watered and stuff like that, and you're good. So, a red pepper. The only difference between a red pepper and a green pepper on most pepper varieties is the color, literally. So, one of the reasons why you like your peppers to turn red beforehand is you know that it's ripe. With a green pepper, you're just kind of gauging it. It stays on the vine long enough and doesn't start turning, but you start to feel it turn a little bit softer because it'll be really hard. Then it'll start going a little bit soft after a while. You'll know that it's ripe, and you don't want to get peppers that aren't ripe. As you can see, I mean, these are all grown in the garden. These are not store-bought at all. I don't know if you can buy cowhorn peppers. Well, maybe you guys can, not in my area. But yeah, so a pepper will change color while it's ripe, but you can pick it before it changes color too. Now, color is not something that's essential to what I'm doing now, but sometimes I do make a, like here, let me show you guys. Here's some chili powders that I've made myself. This is a jalapeno powder, and you'll notice that it's kind of greenish. I'm not sure if the camera is picking that up very well or not, but it's kind of greenish in tone. But it's I did just straight green jalapenos with that one. And this one, I actually smoked a variety of peppers, and I made sure that all the peppers were red because I wanted a red chili powder, just in case I wanted to use. Now, one thing about doing your own herbs is a moisture issue. If you want to, you can mix a little bit of cornstarch in with the seasonings when you put it in the grinder, and that'll keep it from clumping as bad. I did not, but I just tap on the bottle to loosen it up a little bit. So it's a pretty interesting little thing that we're doing. I'll show you later in this video on the dehydrating part of it. Okay, so I guess here's a area that you haven't seen before. This is my dehydrator. I've got it all loaded and ready for the drying process. I got 3 layers there. I separated out the red ones. There's the more green. But I separated out the red ones, and not for flavor, just in case, like, when maybe later I might think of something that I might want to do with it. If I want a different color, then it's all right there. So easy enough, and that goes down to the center. Turn that on, and that'll run for about a day. It doesn't take up too much space, but I've got seeds, so I'm gonna throw some of those in my garden, and just to see if any of them sprout, because that would be cool. Free plants. This is actually I use an old coffee container for my mulch, and there's my rubber tops. See, I've already got stuff in there, mostly coffee grounds, but coffee grounds, eggshells, banana peels, you name it, it goes in there. And I even take shredded newspaper and put it in my mulch pile. That keeps it from getting too mushy. Keeps I guess air in the dirt. I don't know. I know it works great. But so if you're gonna think about composting, keep it away from everything else in your kitchen. I always keep it off in that corner over there. But yeah, so if you're thinking about like starting your own organic garden or something like that, that's a pretty interesting way to reuse containers. And you don't have to use a coffee container. Anything that you got resealable. If you've got like big Rubbermaids or something like that, and you want to use that, it works just fine. So yeah, so here in a little while we'll have some more homemade seasonings. Pretty neat stuff. So this is a little over an hour, maybe about an hour and a half in. I'm going to shut it off. And they're already starting to dry up. That's pretty cool. You see that very well. They start to get kind of wrinkly on the surface here. Let me stand out of the light. See? So pretty neat. If you guys don't have one of these, definitely pick one up. This is an old one, and I don't even know. American Harvest food dehydrator. I got it from my wife's grandma. Okay, so it's been a little bit over 24 hours. I think it was probably about 27 hours. So that's what we've got, and they're all nice and dry and crispy-fied, which is pretty sweet. And I'll show you this, my little herb grinder, and literally that's all it is. Put the lid in for the safety. that's it. So I'll show you that. And I'm going to use the red ones, and that's just for contrast. It just shows up better on the camera. I think you really can tell the green when you're looking at it on the camera. And here's where you can kind of get creative if you want to. Say you're making, because this doesn't, I mean, obviously you can do this with any peppers. Sometimes I make just like a poblano I'll mix in there, and some cumano seeds, or cumin, and add it to this with a little bit of onion salt or onion bouillon if you have that. And cool thing there is you make your own like Mexican seasoning. If you wanted to, you can throw fresh herbs in here if you grow them yourself or you buy them at the market. You can throw some dried herbs in with this and create whatever kind of seasoning you want. Like say I wanted to do, I'd smoke some just red bell pepper, just like roasted red pepper, and then I would throw it on here so it'd have that smoky flavor to it. Then after I get done with that, I put like basil, rosemary, some dehydrated garlic, stuff like that, and make an Italian blend if I wanted to. This right here is just going to be straight cow horn pepper powder. So put it in, and really doesn't take too much time. I do it in waves because you gotta allow for the bigger pieces to go back down because it's kind of cyclonic action there. Yeah, about 30 seconds of this, you'll notice that the powder starts sticking to the top. Once you see that, you know that it's pretty much good. You can hear like a few more little clicks and pops in there, and that's usually like the seeds that are the hardest part to grind into powder. You see this is a nice orange powder. I do not recommend trying to breathe this in afterwards, so kind of keep your head away from it unless you're used to being maced or something. That lovely orange color there. You've got a powder in there. Pretty awesome. So we've got a green powder and an orange powder. Pretty awesome. And yes, that is Sharpie, my very high-tech labeling device. Guess cow horn. But yeah, I'll find some containers or something to put it in once I've actually decided what I want to use it for. But I'll probably make some chili with it or something later. Alright guys, thanks for watching.